The haunted Annabelle doll now has a new owner, or at least a temporary owner for the next 5 years. What they have described as a new guardian of sorts. A comedian by the name of Matt Rife and his friend Elton Castay just purchased the Ed and Lorraine Warren Home and Occult Museum, home to over 700 cursed, haunted objects. Now, I want to be clear here before I move forward, because a lot of people are just overly sensitive these days. I don't have any issue with Matt Rife or Elton Castay. I was unaware of who Elton was until yesterday when this announcement came in, but I did have previous knowledge about who Matt Rife was because I've seen his stand-ups, I've seen him on Kill Tony, and I believe I've seen him on Wilding Out, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm aware of who he is. He's a funny guy. I have no issue with him at all. My issue is, and it's not even really an issue, my concern is that I don't want anyone getting hurt. I don't want anyone getting haunted or cursed. Look, I just don't want anything crazy happening to anyone that gets exposed to this doll. Because let's not forget, folks, let's not forget, some people seem to have already forgotten the lead paranormal investigator that was at the head of this tour that they did with the Annabelle doll, a guy by the name of Dan Rivera. If you haven't heard, he died randomly, mysteriously, out of nowhere, while on tour with the Annabelle doll, hours after doing a show with the Annabelle doll. I've seen this guy come in contact and I've seen him handle the doll more than anyone else. And now he's gone. Folks, that was not even a month ago. That was not even a month ago. And now here we are. We got this announcement coming in about Annabelle having a new owner. And now there's already new plans for even more people to come and visit Annabelle. And not just Annabelle, but to come and visit Ed and Lorraine Warren's home, stay in their home, and expose themselves to all of these cursed and haunted objects. Look, I'm a firm believer that I believe that the universe sometimes sends us signs, right? Maybe God sends us signs. If the leader of the Haunted Annabelle tour, if the leader of this tour dying while on tour with this doll, hours after doing a show with this doll, if that's not a sign that maybe you should leave this doll the hell alone, or at the very least, maybe you shouldn't be hauling this doll around the United States. Maybe you shouldn't be, just exposing everyone to this doll. Maybe you should be taking this doll more seriously. If that's not a sign, then I don't know what is. If you've been watching my channel, you know that I put out videos before Dan Rivera died saying that I thought the tour probably wasn't a good idea. And I had no idea at the time that I was putting out those videos that people who were actually in the paranormal community were warning that, hey, y'all shouldn't be doing this. This is dangerous. So now we have a guy that died, that is all the way tied to this doll. I'm not saying that his death is tied to the doll, but he is tied to the doll. Now we have this guy that just died while on tour with the doll a couple of weeks ago, folks. And there hasn't really been a grace period or anything. I think a lot of people are still processing the information that Dan Rivera died while on tour with this thing. And now we got an announcement that a comedian has purchased the home and people are going to be able to come and spend the night and spend the weekend like a bed and breakfast with Annabelle. So yeah, I have my concerns. And it's nothing personal. I have nothing personal against anyone. But if you want people to buy into the Annabelle story, and I'm not saying I fully believe it, or I fully believe that everyone's going to die or get hurt if they're, come in contact with Annabelle, but if you buy into the story, which, by the way, they want you to buy into the story, right? They want you to buy tickets to the tour. They want you to pay to come spend the night with Annabelle. So if you buy into the story, then obviously you should know that this thing is dangerous. If you buy into the story, you should take it seriously. But, during the tour, people were not taking this doll seriously. And now I'm concerned moving forward because this is going to be turned into something that, content creators and YouTubers come to film their videos and do all of this. And I don't want anything crazy happening to them. And who knows what type of demonic energies they could be exposing their audiences to. And I say that as someone who's probably going to be there watching because I'm interested in it. I get why it's fascinating. I'm not angry at people for being fascinated. I get why this is a cool idea. I just don't want anything bad to happen. And we can't act like nothing bad has happened before. Because the whole history of Annabelle is bad things happening to people who were around Annabelle. And now a couple of weeks ago, someone just died. But Matt Rife has spoken out about this. He posted a TikTok video that I want you guys to watch really quickly. Before you watch this clip, though, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you share the video. Now let's roll this video, or roll this clip. And then I'll be right back with more.
Hey guys, super random but incredible announcement. I have just bought the Ed and Lorraine Warren's Home and Occult Museum with my very good friend Elton Castee. If you guys have ever seen any of the Conjuring films, the Annabelle films, or even Amityville Horror, this is the home that inspired all of those stories. This might be the most important and prominent piece of paranormal history in the world. Ed and Lorraine Warren are who took demonology and ghost hunting and paranormal investigation and made it mainstream. Now, I know a lot of you guys don't know what any of this means whatsoever, but if you follow ghost stuff, this is about as big as it gets. So what does this all mean? It means that Elton Castee and myself are the owners of the physical Ed and Lorraine Warren's Home and Occult Museum. We are the legal guardians and caretakers of all 750 haunted artifacts and items in the Warren Museum, including the Annabelle doll. I must go on record and say we do not legally own the items, but we are the legal guardians and caretakers of the items for at least the next 5 years. And what this means for you guys is you are going to soon be able to book a night or a weekend and stay at the Warren's house and investigate the house and the history of the house, as well as the museum and all the artifacts inside of it. This is the most random hobby ever, but it's so fucking cool, man. I should probably collect stamps or something. Might be a little safer. But yeah, we own the house, and we are very excited for you guys to see it. Stay tuned.
Now, as I was explaining before this clip, I get why this is a cool idea. I get why people are fascinated. I'm fascinated too. But I think there's a way to go about things, and I'm not saying that they're going about this the wrong way. But I do think that people, or whoever is in charge of this, I don't think Matt Rife is going to be at the house 24/7 handling things. I hope that they take this more seriously than some of what I saw on that tour from the pictures and the TikTok videos. Because, look, I know that people were visiting this doll before the tour. People were visiting this doll when Lorraine Warren was still alive and stuff like that. I know that. We've discussed that in previous videos. But there's a big difference and how the doll was treated then and how the doll was treated on this tour. When people used to come visit the doll, there would be a priest on hand that would pray over them, that would pray with them, that would have their crosses, their Bibles, their holy water, all of this ready. It was taken very seriously. And still, the people who visited the doll reported that weird and crazy things, hectic, chaotic things happened in their life. That's much different than what we saw on this tour, where they treated it like a, hey, like a freak show at the circus. Come on, come all, come see the Annabelle doll. We'll talk to you about it, and then you can take selfies and film TikTok videos with it. So they need to handle this doll with more respect. And I know people have reached out to me saying that they actually did a live stream. I believe Elton Castay and Matt Rife, I guess they did like a live stream. I went and looked. It's a long live stream. I did not have time to watch it yet. I will go check it out, though, to see what they're talking about. But like I said, I don't think anything in that live stream will change my mind here, because as I've been saying, and I've said this in the past, I don't think this is something that I should have to reiterate every time. I have no problem with these people. I have no problem with people being fascinated in Annabelle. I have no problem in any of that. I'm fascinated as well. My only concern is I don't want people getting hurt. That's my only concern. And it's not something that's far out there, right? I don't think this is a wild concern that's coming out of nowhere 2 weeks after someone died who was in charge of the Annabelle tour, that we saw handling and picking up the doll and stuff like that, which I don't think maybe should have ever happened. But at the very least, I guess the doll will be at the home. I know there's supposed to be more stops on the tour in the future. From my understanding, the doll is at the home now, but it will go a couple of more places in like September and October, I believe. So, I don't know. I don't know how this is going to end, but the warnings are out there. I have voiced my concerns. Other people have voiced their concerns. I hope that everything works out for the best. I do think that keeping Ed and Lorraine Warren's name and their work alive, I do think that that's important. So I'm glad that someone purchased this museum and stuff like that. Like, I'm happy. I'm halfway happy about it, but I'm just halfway also worried. That's all. That's all. So if something crazy happens down the line here, I don't want people acting all shocked. At least no one that watched my videos, because we talked about our concerns. You voice your concerns, though, down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon at the next one.